What if the skill people keep coming to you about is already the foundation of your next stream of income? I want you to think about that for a second, because I think a lot of women have spent years looking for financial safety in only one place, their job. I'm talking about one paycheck funding everything, one company making all the decisions, one role that has to stay stable for the whole plan to work. And for a long time, that felt like a great plan. But more women are waking up to the reality that depending upon a single source of income puts a lot of pressure on one single source to never fail. The fact is, a job can be stable and still leave you exposed. That's the part nobody puts in the welcome packet. And what's worth noticing is that most women already have what it takes to build something else right here, right now, with what they already know without having to become a completely different person to do it. The challenge is that the skills most valuable to other people tend to feel most ordinary to the woman who has them. And that's what we're getting into today. How to identify the skills you already have that could realistically become coaching income, consulting income, or the foundation of a business that gives you options beyond one paycheck. And I want you to stay with me through the end of this video, because I'm going to be sharing the one filter most skill identification exercises completely skip. And that gap is exactly why so many women sit on profitable skills for years without acting on them. If you're new here, my name is Nick Scott. I'm the founder of Her Income Edit, where we help professional women turn the skills they already have into coaching income, digital products, and online businesses. And if you want a head start on this, drop the word ideas down in the comments. I have a free guide with 101 coaching ideas mapped to monetizable skills. It's a great complement to everything that we're going to cover in this video. Okay, let me tell you where this really starts for most women. It's almost never some big career-defining moment. It's usually small, and it usually happens on a random Tuesday. A coworker slacks you something on the side after a meeting. Something like,
"Can you just look at this for a second?"
Or it's a friend calling again about the same situation she's been going through for months. It's someone in your circle saying to you,
"You know what? I always come to you with this because I know you'll know what to do."
And what all of them are asking about is something you figured out years ago, right? Something that almost feels effortless to you now because you already lived through the hard version of learning it. That's the signal most women walk right past. What feels easy to you right now, it took time for it to become easy for you. You stopped noticing the difficulty because you crossed that learning curve a long time ago. And because you crossed it, you assume most people have crossed it too, but they haven't. This is something I see all the time with women who have built serious careers. You spend years developing skills and solving problems and gradually becoming the person everyone comes to. And gradually, the work that used to challenge you, it starts to feel like just doing your job. The depth of what you know stops being visible to you. Meanwhile, the woman you just helped experienced that same conversation as clarity she couldn't find on her own. She experienced it as direction she had been searching for. She experienced it as the kind of relief you only feel when someone finally helps you see the thing you were missing. And that gap between what feels ordinary to you and what feels transformative to someone else, that gap is where your coaching business can live. See, I've spent years answering the same kinds of questions. Questions about content, building an audience, turning what you know into income. I answered those questions in DMs that ran longer than expected, on phone calls that started as quick 5-minute check-ins and somehow turned into 2 hours. And it didn't register to me for a long time that the thing people kept coming back to me for was probably what I should have been building my business around the whole time. Most women are much closer to this than they think. The gap between where you are right now and where you could be earning from, for most women, it's not a skills gap, it's a recognition gap. Now, part of why this conversation matters so much right now is that more women are recognizing their job was never meant to be their only strategy. A job can be stable and still leave you exposed if it's the only source of income you have. And that's the honest part about this conversation that most people skip. When you have income coming from more than one source, you show up differently in every single area of your life. You negotiate from a different position. You make decisions from a different place, less from the fear of what you might lose and more from confidence in what you've already built. Now, what I want you to take away is this. Getting there doesn't require you to start from scratch. Your skills already exist. You don't need a new idea. You need ownership over the value you're already bringing to the table every single day. Now, there's a belief that circulates online that the only skills worth monetizing are the rare ones. You know, the revolutionary ones, the things no one has ever done before. That's just not how income works, y'all. The woman who can take complicated information and break it down in a way that someone else finally gets, that skill has a market. The woman who understands systems and processes that leave most people completely overwhelmed, that knowledge, it translates directly into income. The woman who has spent years helping people communicate better, lead with more confidence, or move through the hard transitions with less friction, she has been informally coaching for years. She just hasn't charged for it yet. Listen, a skill does not need to be rare to become income. It needs to solve one problem for one person. Now keep watching, because in just a minute, I'm walking you through 3 questions that cut through overthinking and show you exactly what skills you already have. And these 3 questions will do more for your clarity than any business quiz you've ever taken. So how do you identify what skills you should monetize? I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. The first question is the frequency lens, and that is, what do you do so often you barely think about it anymore? What has become so automatic for you that still takes effort for other people? I want you to think about the work that feels ordinary to you today that wasn't always ordinary. It took you time, repetition, and learning to get there, because ordinary to you often means learnable to someone else. And skills that can be learned can be taught, and skills that can be taught can become income. The second question is the frustration lens. What makes you frustrated when you watch someone struggle with it? And I don't mean in a judgmental kind of way, but that honest internal reaction of,
You know what, girl? There is a better way to do that.
and that feeling, it shows up for you before you've even decided to say anything. When something is clear to you and watching someone else struggle with it, when it creates a low-level frustration, that's a developed capacity pointing at something that's worth paying attention to. The third question is the ask lens. What do people consistently come to you for without ever signaling that you're available? Now, I'm talking about before you had a website, before you post about it on social media, before you gave anyone any idea that you were even available to help them with this thing. That right there is demand you didn't have to create. That's demand that showed up on its own. And unprompted demand is the most honest sign about what the market already wants from you. And I want you to notice something about what I'm describing. A coaching business is simply helping someone move from confusion to clarity faster than they could get there on their own. And you've probably been doing this for years. You've been helping colleagues think through hard decisions. You've been supporting your friends through transitions that they didn't see coming. You've been guiding people toward outcomes they couldn't see on their own. You've been doing the core work of coaching. You've been doing it longer than you realize. Now, I know what's probably coming up for some of you right now. You might be thinking,
But everyone already knows this, Nick.
and to that, I'm going to ask you, does everyone in your life call you for it? Because if they do, the market has already confirmed the demand. You just haven't priced it yet. You might be thinking,
But someone else else is already teaching this?
Good. That means demand for it already exists. You don't need to be the only person doing something to build a business doing it. You need to be the right person for the woman who specifically connects with you. The sticking point for most women isn't that they lack the skill. It's hesitation around claiming the value of what they already know before they feel like they fully earned the right to charge for it. Meanwhile, women who made the decision 6 months ago, they're already building income from it. You've probably spent years doing work you've been describing as just helping. And here's the thing, that's not a humble description. That is an expensive one. So here's the thing about all of this. You've known about this skill for a while now. You've thought about it. You've talked yourself into it. You've talked yourself back out of it. And your offer, it still isn't built. And 2K for 2 hours exists for this exact moment. It's an on-demand micro course and it walks you through building an offer from what you already have. The link for 2K in 2 hours is down in the description, or you can visit my website at herincomeedit.com/2K. So now the only question left is whether today is the day you stop thinking about it. Now let me leave you with something I want you to hold on to after this video ends. The most expensive thing you own right now is the skill you haven't charged for yet. Every time you explain it for free, every time you push that idea a little further into later, you are making a financial decision. You've been in preparation mode longer than you realize. The skills, the years of doing it well, the track record of getting people better outcomes, that is your foundation. The only thing standing between where you are and what you could be earning is a decision. You already did the hard part. You spent years building what you know. Now it's time to build something that belongs to you. And if you want to see exactly how to structure your first offer using the skills you have right now, this video is the next one to watch. I'll see you there.